how's it going? This is going to be Shopisode number 2 of my shop vlog series, and I'll let you guys know what's going on in the shop and what's new, and I got a lot of fun things, so I'll start showing you guys around. One of the first things that I wanted to show you guys that I made is this super cool blank that I made for a customer who actually makes rings, and they do a lot of metalworking, a lot of cool metal rings. Oh, sorry about that lighting. I'll fix that a little bit. But let me flip it around and I'll show you guys what's so cool about it. So here's the blank that I was telling you guys about, and it's really cool just as it is. You know, I think the blue and white swirls, you know, especially because I think of metal with this guy, it looks like a blue and white Damascus steel because the swirls are so tight. And the Amboina burl is obviously beautiful, but what's so cool about this is it's glow in the dark. So the blue resin in this is glow in the dark, and on this side where there's more blue, it looks like a glowing light in a cave almost. And on this side, it looks like veins glowing in the dark, or like cracks or something. And so I made a video on this, guys, and like I mentioned, the guy who this is going to has his own YouTube channel as well, so he'll be making a video, and it should be a pretty cool collab, and I'm really happy how this turned out. The glow-in-the-dark powder that I used, I just got off at Amazon, and you guys will obviously see more about it in the video to come, but I got a blue, which is the sky blue, and I also got a green as well. So I definitely had a lot of fun with this, and if anybody's curious about having me make some for them, definitely let me know. It's a ton of fun, and it's hard to get the glow in the dark on camera, although I did a good amount, I think, on the video I made, and I also took some pictures that did the best job of it. So I'll show you guys some of the really cool wood I've been stabilizing, and I'm really excited about this wood that I got from Evan. And Evan, man, there's some cool stuff coming your way. Don't you worry. I definitely got you covered. But this stuff is going to be really cool because it's got some cracks in it and some holes that I think will look really cool with the resin. Almost like for those of you who have seen like cholla cactus in resin, I think it'll look like that. And I've also been stabilizing some more of the brown mallee burl that I bought and the Amboina burl. And of course, still stabilizing. Well, actually, I've got all of my maple burl stabilized now, or cast, that I bought, and definitely let me know if you guys are interested in any custom pours. I'm still working on some really cool stuff to pay back Evan, but I love making stuff for other makers. It's probably one of the most fun things I love doing. I obviously like making pens and stuff, but making, you know, things for other makers, it's like a win-win, you know, and I love when people show me the pictures that they've made. So check out my Etsy for any blocks if people are interested, or let me know down in the comments or send me a message, because I always love to do it. And anyway, we'll move on to the next thing, which is talking about the lighting in the shop. And I'll get to the new bulbs that I got from a company that's hooking us up with a sweet coupon. But I first wanted to talk to you guys about the lighting, like I mentioned. Disregard all the messy wiring. That was done already before I did it, or before I came in here. All I did was plug in the lights. But I have 4 fixtures that were originally here, and they're the ones that I'm showing you guys hanging from the ceiling. And they were originally fluorescent bulbs. Weren't very bright. The lighting was good, but they weren't very bright. And so I switched. They were either T8 or T12s. I forget the exact length. But I swapped them out for LEDs, and it was a night and day difference. The only thing I wish I did a little differently, and you guys should definitely test out and try if you're doing something similar by hanging them from the ceiling, is I wish I lowered them a little bit more. Because I think some light is lost. Like you guys can see, the wall up there is lit pretty well, which isn't bad, but you know, I don't need it to be lit as well as down here. Which, don't get me wrong, it is lit very well down here. But that's one thing if I had to do it over. And I have a light here, and a light here, and a light here, and I'll touch on the bulbs over there in a bit. But the lights on the walls are just like a $40 LED shop light you can buy
that I got from Home Depot, but I'm sure you could buy them at Lowe's or whatever. And I have them along the walls that the lights from up top weren't getting to, because it's hard to show you guys in one shot, but as you can see, this is kind of the middle of the shop and the lights are really in the middle. So the corners, especially this side, weren't getting as much light as they wanted to. And so now you guys can see the lighting's great there on the finishing lathe with that one, and also the casting lathe as well. Because what's very important, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know and can agree with, is having important lighting with a shop, especially when you're doing something as precise and small as pens. LEDs are great for obviously just overall lighting, but they leave less shadows than other lights, which is very interesting to me when I first heard that. And so they're very, very good to have for doing projects like that. So moving on to these bulbs, they were sent to me by a company called Sanzi or Sanzi. I'm not sure exactly on the pronunciation, but that's what the name is. And man, they are so bright. They're about $11, I think, with the coupon they sent. And so if you guys are looking for some shop bulbs, definitely look into them because they're a pretty good deal. The ones that I replaced, sorry about the mess here, but were just these Philips bulbs, and the Philips bulbs I believe are like $8, something like that, and these are only 800 lumens. These guys are 2,400, so they're like $3 or, you know, a quarter of the price more for 3 times the brightness. And so they're actually so bright that I think I'm going to move this guy up from there to that rafter, because they're definitely made not to be so close together. They're made more for recessed lighting and to be spread out, you know, like every 8 or 10 feet. So I think I'll gain a lot more lighting down low and everywhere else by moving them up, which will be also great because these fixtures can be angled however you want. And so I'll definitely take advantage of that as well. So another cool thing, and I have one more thing, I don't want this to get too long for you guys, but another cool thing that I was sent by a company. Oh, one last thing before I move on. I'll leave the link down below to those lights and also the coupon code that they sent me, so you guys can get those for, you know, a Christmas gift or Christmas gift to yourself if you want. But yeah, another thing is I got sent this polyurethane resin, so the same as Alumilite, by a company called Thermoset Solutions. And I already used one of their products that they sent me, which was basically the same size. The only difference is this guy has a 5-minute open time and the other had a 7-minute open time. And if you guys are curious on me making a video on these, definitely leave a comment down below. It's a little bit cheaper than Alumilite, but I'm not sure if it fully, you know, is worth being a little bit cheaper, because I don't know if it's all the way up to the same standards as Alumilite. It works well. I made a pen on it, and so yeah, let me know if you guys want to see a video on that, because it's definitely an option if people are looking for a little cheaper version of Alumilite. Or not version, but you guys know what I mean. So last thing before I keep you guys any longer is my drill press dust collection. For anybody who's tried to deal with drill press dust collection, it is a nightmare and a headache. At least for me it was. Maybe it's pretty simple for some people to figure out. But the first thing I started with was this Rockler drill press port, and it didn't work out well for me. There's 2 main reasons. One, it's made for a fence that Rockler sells for drill presses. That was like ridiculous. It was like $100 or something, and I bought this whole table for 40. And so I had to cut, if you can see, I had to cut on this side and glue it because the orientation made for the other fence wasn't the same. Like it was made to be on the back of the fence that opened. And so I did that. But the main problem was that it was bottlenecked by this little port. And it needs to go to the side, at least somewhat, so that it doesn't hit this guy that every drill press has, but the suction was just so poor that it wasn't working that great. The benefit that this has, that's a little downside of the one that I figured out is the best, is that it has more suction area. But I think that doesn't matter so much for this one because it's just a full 2.5 inch. I obviously wish it was a 4 inch, but I don't know if I could have made this work without a 2.5 inch. And what this actually is was a router dust port that my grandpa gave me when he gave me some fittings and some hose-it clamps that he had lying around and wasn't using. And so I cut this off and I made sure that it was sitting flush. Like I said, the only downside is that it doesn't curve out and have more suction like area. But the problem is that if it did curve out, it wouldn't be able to sit flush against the fence like it does right now. So I hope this gives some people some ideas and helps people out, because I know for me, I had to dealing with this thing and also keeping it flush, and also a way that would lower and raise with the fence. And I obviously figured out the best way for that is just to attach it to the fence itself, but also doing it in a way that didn't hit this but was also flush was where I had trouble. So hopefully this helps some people out. And that's about it for this Shopisode.
So I sure hope you guys enjoyed the Shopisode. I hope it wasn't too long. Definitely let me know what you guys think on the length. What if like about 10 minutes, give or take a few minutes, is good, or if that's way too long, should be half that, whatever. Love the suggestions always. So like the video if you guys liked it, comment down below. Like I said, with any suggestions, thoughts, questions, anything of the sort, I always love to see those, and I always try my best to reply to everyone. So take it easy, everyone. Like it if you did, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.